2024. And please ask that all your cell phones are turned off so that we don't have any interruptions during our meeting. And we'll begin our meeting with the land acknowledgement. As we gather, we are reminded that the municipality of South Huron is situated on Treaty 29 land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people today. And as a community, we have a responsibility to honor and respect this territory's significance for the Indigenous people who lived and continue to live upon it and whose practices and spiritualities were tied to the land and continue to develop in relationship to the territory and its other inhabitants today. In the spirit of reconciliation and truth, we acknowledge the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee peoples on whose traditional territory we are meeting. And moving on to item number 2, please, Ms. Masoul-Carlson.
That South Huron Council approves the agenda as presented.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Neeb, seconded by Councillor Dietrich. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 7. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Councillor Neeb, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mayor Finch. Item 8.3, quarter revision minutes of April 2nd, 2024. The general nature, my parents own one of the subject properties in the Ford municipal drain. So when that item comes up, I'll be stepping out of the meeting.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor McLeod-Haggett.
Thank you. 17.1, the legal opinion is prepared by my place of employment.
Thank you. And you've just submitted the form, have you? Great, thank you. No other disclosures this time? Very well. Presentation, we'll go on to delegations, 5.1, and we welcome Connie Hashborn. How are you? Come on down. And welcome, Connie. Just so you, yeah, and just turn your microphone on, please. You have about 10 minutes.
I forgot I gotta touch that button.
You have
Okay,
10
so,
minutes to do your presentation.
pardon me?
10 minutes to do your presentation.
Oh, it won't take me 10 minutes.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm not originally from here. I'm from Kitchener, Ontario. Spent most of my life in social services, but I ran a small cleaning business in Kitchener for 40 years, which meant that I had to do laundry Monday to Friday every day. And my water bill was never over $30. Well, $30 in, $30 out, $60 a month. I come up here and I use $27 worth of water in 3 months. My bill is nearly $400. I don't understand. I know somebody sent me a thing on water base and sewer base, but it's all very technical. And I'm not going to take the time to try and figure that out because I don't have that much time left. So I just want a straight answer as to why the bill is so excessive up here. In Ontario, the average water rate is $90 per month. That's an average household of 3.5 people. I'm single and I'm paying $400, not $270. I'm paying $400 a month. So I just like somebody to explain to me why that is.
Just for clarification, you say you're paying $400 a month or
every 3 months, sorry.
Okay, thank you. Anything further on your topic?
Well, yeah, I have a problem with your leaf brown bag collection too. I don't understand why it's for 2 weeks in the spring. They don't give you a day when they're going to come. They just magically appear like the little elves that they are. In Kitchener, it was always every 2 weeks in the spring till later in the fall, probably November. And they would pick it up every 2 weeks. I know you say I should drive out to the dump. However, I'm getting older and I don't want to be lugging all this stuff to the dump. I also live in an older community. I live in Wrinkle City. That means that I'm the baby. There's a lot of people older than me. They also have family up here. I don't understand why the town or whoever, the garbage people, don't come and pick that. I don't understand why you don't have a blue box. This is a prime agricultural area, yet you don't have a blue box. So my food waste goes in the garbage. Where it goes from there, I don't know. I'm not a garbage person, but I know it's supposed to be used for fertilization and stuff of that nature. This is prime agricultural land, yet you don't have it. I know your trucks aren't made for it, not yours personally, but the township's trucks. But I think it's at a point where we have to do something, and you're not doing anything. You're living in the past. You're not encouraging me to conserve water. How can I conserve any more water? If I'm using $27 worth of water in 3 months, I can't conserve any more. I have to bathe, I have to do laundry. I can't conserve anymore. Yet my bill is 400. How do I reduce it? I can't. Because you want to charge a water base and a sewer base charge, which I never ever had before. I didn't understand that. I thought it was illegal, but it's not. But I'm going like, why is it $100 for each? I don't understand. Can you explain it to me?
So your water bill is also, that includes
Oh,
your
and the debt repayment. What is that? I never created any debt since I've been up here, yet I pay $69 a month or 3 months for a debt repayment, which is fine, but I don't know what it's for. I have no idea. As far as I know, it's going into somebody's pocket. I don't know any different, right?
And I can assure you it's not going into somebody's pocket. But so your $400 that you're paying, that's your water and wastewater. Am I correct on that?
Yes,
Yeah, you haven't
yes.
divided them out. I think maybe Mr. Paulson maybe could have a discussion with you at some point. And because there's a lot of questions you don't have answers to.
No, I hear all kinds of stories. I heard that JMR was going to put a pool up in here. I heard it from 2 different people. And it was voted down by council because JMR wanted their name on it. Don't know if that's true, but I'm going, that's ridiculous. Holman is a big name in Kitchener, everything, Holman this, Holman that, Holman this, Holman that. Who cares what name's on it, as long as you have the service?
Yeah, and to your point about not knowing if it's true or not, there might be a lot of misinformation that you might have that's been passed around. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I believe that.
So I would suggest maybe have a meeting with one of our staff members in the next few days. Mr. Carlson, any comment on that? Would that help? Maybe clarify some things for her?
I'd be happy to sit down with you and
Sure.
talk a little bit more.
Anytime.
And the other thing I'm getting from this is probably better communication, maybe on our website and stuff. So thank you.
Okay?
Great. Any
That's all
questions?
I got to say. That's all I came here to complain about.
Are there any questions from members of council go ahead, Ms. Councilor McLeod Haggett.
Thank you for your speech there, Connie. It actually leads me into what I was going to suggest later with this Ms. Masukalsum is I've actually had a lot of questions about the water bills, and to be honest, I don't fully understand them.
If you're a senior and it's a high time of inflation anyways, and you're a senior on a fixed income and you're getting a bill of $400 on a $27 usage, maximum it should be, in Kitchener, I did laundry every day. Like I said, $30 in, $30 out, $60. I'm sure it's gone up since I left, but even at 90, it's still over $100 every 3 months. Ridiculous, but carry on.
Okay,
Sorry.
sorry. Maybe we could put something out on the website or the Facebook page, kind of breaking down what the water bill actually is and where the stuff is, the funds are allocated and what they are to make the users more aware of what they're paying for.
Okay, and Deputy, you had something?
Yeah, I think this may be better answered by staff because we're getting into a whole bunch of questions here that I don't think there's any one of us that's capable to completely answer. I know there's a few things that I can answer, but I don't think we want to start at that. I think
I've been here for over 2 years. I'd like some answers.
I'm not saying that you don't deserve answers, but I think the answers have to come from the right spot, which is our staff. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and our staff is more than happy to reach out or speak to you on the matter. that's
Well,
for sure.
don't you think it's ridiculous that people in a high time of inflation and on a fixed income are forced to pay that bill? Do you not believe that? I do. Like I said, I was in social services most of my life. Never would I ask a client to pay that kind of money. Never. City of Kitchener wouldn't ask it.
Okay, no, thank you very much for your comments. Any other comments from members of council or questions for Connie? Not seeing, thank you very much for your
Okay.
presentation though.
Have a good night.
You bet, take care. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Masul Carlson.
That South Huron Council receives the delegation regarding water-based charges in South Huron as presented by Connie Hatchborn.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Oak, seconded by Councillor McLeod Haggett. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? That carries with 7. Thank you. Public meeting, is none. 7 for minutes. Ms. Masul Carlson, please.
That South Huron Council adopts the minutes of the special meeting of March 27th, 2024, and the public and regular council meeting of April 2nd, 2024, as printed and circulated.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Neeb, seconded by Councillor Vaughn. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? That carries with 7. Thank you. 7.2.
That South Huron Council adopts the minutes of Council Priority Workshop of March 25th, 2024, as printed and circulated.
And a mover, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor McLeod Haggett. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? Carries with 7. Thank you. 8, please.
That the minutes of the fall. Sorry. That the minutes of the following committees and or boards be received as presented to council. Exeter Rodeo draft minutes of March 20th, 2024. Dashwood Community Advisory Committee draft minutes of March 28th, 2024. Court of Revision minutes of April 2nd, 2024.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Dietrich, seconded by Councillor Oak. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you. 8.4 now, please.
The South Huron Council receives the Port Blake Task Force draft minutes of April 9th, 2024 as presented. And that South Huron Council approves the recommendations of the Port Blake Task Force as follows. The priorities for 2024 Port Blake Park Revitalization Plan are drainage, washroom accessibility, washroom/accessibility, and permit/payment/revenue system, and the implementation of an automated pay-by license plate parking meter system for Port Blake Park begin in the 2024 season. And the following entrance permit fee structure for Port Blake Park be put in place for the 2024 season. $30 per passenger vehicle. No buses or recreational vehicles permitted entrance. South Huron residents granted free entrance. And that the task force continue to meet until the end of September 2024.
And is there a mover? Moved by Councillor Vaughn. Is there a seconder? Deputy Mayor, and discussion. Councillor Neeb, go ahead, please.
It's more of a question of clarification. So the $30 per passenger vehicle, is that $30 per vehicle or $30 per passenger in the vehicle?
Councillor Vaughn, did you want to take that?
Sure, that's per vehicle.
Okay, any other questions? Councillor Oak.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So I guess just wondering the recreational vehicle, wondering why that wouldn't be allowed. There's many people that travel the province and they, want to stop at different amenities. And I'm just wondering why we wouldn't allow recreation vehicles to come in.
Any questions or comments from members of the task force? Councillor Vaughn, go ahead.
Sure. Well, we had quite a bit of discussion about single axle, double, triple, whatever type of thing. The park really isn't built infrastructure wise for really heavy duty vehicles like rec vehicles or buses. And so primarily not to chew up the roadway that we actually have, nor to chew up the grasses that we actually have. Because a lot of the cars, when we have a very busy park day, like a holiday weekend and so forth, passenger cars even park right on the lawn if you will. And if we had that happening with rec vehicles and buses, we would have them getting stuck or tearing up our park. So that's basically why.
Councillor Rowe?
Okay, and just thank you, Mayor. The last point about South Huron residents granted free entrance, how would that work? Because there are South Huron residents that their license plate might be from, that got the vehicle went before they moved to South Huron or whatever. I guess how would that I'm not as sure how the automated pay by license works, so just wondering how that would be implemented.
Ms. Masuo Carlson, please.
What I would say for that is that will be operational. We will be discussing how to move that forward, that piece, of course.
Okay, any other comments at all? Councillor Dietrich, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This automated pay by license plate, how does that work, or what's the cost of it to put it in place in the first place?
Who would like to take that? Mr. Curry, would you like to take that?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and through you to Councillor Dietrich. So basically, if you can imagine an automated ticket wicket, you walk up, you can put your card in, pay for the day, for the hour, and you put that in the dash of your vehicle. That's how that works, basically. Regarding costs, the quote we got was within the threshold of spending delegated to staff in our procurement policy, so less than $15,000.
Councillor Dietrich?
$15,000. It'll take a lot of vehicles to pay for that.
How does that get policed, Mr. Curry? Could you tell us? How do we know somebody's going to actually do it, pay for it?
Right. So operationally, this season, we're spending some time to work out the enforcement piece. But basically, we'll have compliance staff there to monitor the parking lot. And just to clarify, less than 15,000 is the cost to rent these units.
Councillor Dietrich?
They'd be similar then to the ones that are on the beach in Grand Bend, something similar to that.
They're exactly the same, correct?
Okay, great. Who come up with the $30 a vehicle? Or did they compare it to anything else, or like any other park, or?
Councillor Vaughn, go ahead.
Compared to a couple of things. First of all, the fee and study fee report that we have. Right now, the suggested fee for Port Blake for cars going in for 3-passenger car, this is the way they structured it in the fee study, was $30. And it's really quite comparable to the kind of rates that are charged in Grand Bend in the main drag. So it's kind of consistent with what goes on in the Lakeshore area. We didn't go with the recommendations that were in the actual study because it was things like for 2 people in a car, it's this, for 3 people, it's this. Well, no mention of what about for 4. We tried to keep it simple. So just the fact, doesn't matter to us how many people are in the car. We don't need somebody counting it. If we're going into an automated system, there's nobody who's going to be counting it and policing it. Just as easy to make it simple per car.
Thank you, Councillor Vaughn, and thank you, Scott, for your information.
Great. Any other questions then? Deputy, go ahead.
Just another comment too. We're trying this for a 1-year pilot project. Maybe next year we'll have some changes. We don't know, what we have to start somewhere. And we just thought with what we've got, the information we got, this was maybe the best way to start. And if we don't get moving forward, we're not going to have it in place for this year. So I think the committee decided that at least get one thing started so we can start charging at the gate and we don't have to have staff standing there. and this works 24/7, not just when staff is there. And I think from what I saw, seemed to be losing a nice bit of money by, people coming in after hours in the evening to watch the sunset or whatever. This way, we don't need staff there. They have to pay to get in. So I think it's a project that's going to move forward and hopefully work. So I guess we'll see in a year's time. Thank you.
Councillor Oak.
Thank you. So just to follow up to that though, so this is a rental unit for the license or for the payment. I guess the question I have is it cheaper than hiring staff? And then are we still going to have a staff member there? Because it was always handy to have staff there that oversaw to make sure that things weren't necessarily going awry at the Port Blake. So just wondering at the park there. So are we going to have staff still there monitoring things?
Ms. Basula Colson.
I can take that one. Yes, we are going to have staff. This is like Deputy Mayor Dietrich had noted, it's our transition year. Not everything is going to be set up exactly how we would like it. At the end of September, the committee will be meeting again just to review everything that happened this year. But for now, yes, we are planning to have a staff member out there.
Any other questions? Just a question. I see in the report, it talks about $125,000 for the drainage. Any more on that, Deputy?
Yes. Scott and I are looking into something a little bit different. I found another way of looking at it, but I would rather wait and let Scott and I have a look and have a discussion with the water plant and see where that goes. But it looks promising. And a lot less dollars. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions then? Okay. And the recreation vehicles, again, just to clarify, no recreational vehicles at all. So the public is very much aware where you stand on this.
Correct. No RVs or buses or that type of recreation vehicle.
So like a class C vehicle that has a bathroom toilet in it, like a van, as opposed to one that doesn't, it would not be allowed in.
It goes by, I think we're gonna have to look at by the size wise, but we're not 100%. It's a pilot project. I mean, some of those questions will be answered probably a little later down the road, but as of right now, maybe Scott can help a little bit.
Okay, I just want to make sure the public's aware what they can and can't not do back there. Mr. Curry, any comment?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So there are some operational details to work out, certainly. Anything specific will be signed so that people on arrival know exactly the lay of the land. We do have to work out a few details on exactly, weight and size of vehicles, but if council proceeds tonight with this direction, then staff can move forward with specifying the specs of what our roads can handle and what our parking situation can handle at Port Blake.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. I'm just envisioning like the Pinery Park, for instance, has multiple size vehicles coming through there. And I'm just trying to envision the difference between our park and that park. So just curious, that's all. Is there any other questions then at this time? Okay, not seeing any. So we have a mover and a seconder. Is there no further discussion? I'll call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 7. Thank you. Moving right along then to 9, please.
The South Huron Council receives a report from Mike Rolfe, Director of Building and Planning, Chief Building Official, regarding the 2024 first quarter building and planning activity report for information.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Neeb, second by Councillor Oak. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 7. Thank you. Next one, please. 9.2.
The South Huron Council receives a report of Jeremy Becker, General Manager of Community and Emergency Services, regarding the 2024 Q1 Fire Department responses for information.
And a mover, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Vaughn. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 7. 9.3 or 9.4, please.
That South Huron Council receives a report from Aaron Moore, Financial Analyst, and Julia Warwick, Director of Financial Services Treasurer. Read 2024 Capital Progress Report, March 2024 for information.
I believe Julia is online tonight, so we need a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Neeb, seconded by Councillor Oak. And welcome, Julia. You have
Hello,
some, go ahead,
Uh,
feel free to start.
through you, Mayor Finch. I just wanted to mention today we were made aware of some changes that should be on the report on the originating project year column. So I'll just point those out. On the water and sewer services, all of those projects originated in 2024. Right now, they just have their budget project number in there, so they should say 2024. And then the Port Blake revitalization project, it actually originated in 2018, not 2021. And the Centralia CC amenities project, that originated in 2021. So I just wanted to make that quick comment before there are any questions.
Great. And on that note, are there any questions for our director? Not seeing any. You've done a wonderful job. Thank you very much. There's no question. I'll call a question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you. 9.4.2, please.
That South Huron Council receives a report of Alex Wolf, Clerk. Request for services, complaints and bylaw infractions, 2024 first quarter report and summary report for information purposes.
And a mover, please. Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Neeb. Any discussion? Call a question. All in favor? And that carries with 7. Thank you. Next item, 9.4.3.
That South Huron Council received the report from Rebecca Msuya Collison, Chief Administrative Officer, proposed consultation for Community Improvement Plan, CIP, and the council authorized the CIP consultations include the entirety of the municipality of South Huron and the scope to include consultations on additional residential units, CIP area housing program, Main Street revitalization program, energy efficiency and retrofit program, and building restoration, renovation, or improvement program.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Neeb, seconded by Councillor Vaughn. Any discussion? Councillor Neeb, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Finch. And this is fantastic. I think it's really positive that we're moving forward with the community improvement program. And I know in the past there has been plans that have been presented to previous councils, and I think the scope is very appropriate considering the climate right now with housing and especially with climate change as well. So just more of a question as to after we approve this, or if we approve this, what would be the next steps and how does this plan get implemented?
Mr. Carlson.
Okay, so the next steps would be, we would work with the planners and the Director of Building and Planning and move forward with consultations, basically scoped this way. Find out from the community what projects should have the initiative. Because one of the issues, and it's noted kind of in the report, is that if you have too many items and initiatives for grants, then it does get a little bit diluted down. So everything will come back to council with our findings. And at that point, we will scope it down a little bit further. And as far as the program itself, it's run through, there's guidelines, there's applications, there's informations. It'll all be published on the website and available to the public.
Great, thank you. Councillor Oak, did you have a comment? Nope.
No, that was the same question I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other persons with a comment, question? Nope, not seeing any. Great, thank you very much for the report. And we have a mover and a seconder. I'll call a question. All in favor? And that carries with 7. Notice of motion, Madam Clerk, are there any notice of motions that you're aware of?
There are none.
Thank you. Item number 11, items for discussion arising from previous meetings. Are there any at this time? Not seeing any. New business? No new business. Mayor and councillor comments and announcements. Are there any comments or announcements from members of council? Okay, Councillor Neeb, Jeff, no, okay. Very well. Okay, move right along then. Go to item number 14, communications. Or actually, before we do that, Mayor and councillor comments. I was at the Cadets 50th anniversary on April 6th. And they actually mentioned about the support they're getting from the municipality in regards to the use of the land. Very appreciative of it. The guest speaker was Kyle Ferguson, who's from Dashwood, and now he's with the Armed Services in Trenton. So it was a very informative meeting, but they are very much appreciative of it, and they made that announcement of their appreciation. So wanted to pass that along. Item 14, if you want something pulled, please advise.
14.1. 14.2. 14.3. 14.4.
Pull,
14.5.
pull,
14.6.
pull that.
14.7.
Okay, 14.2, Councillor McLeod, was that you or Councillor Vaughn? Councillor, go ahead, please.
Just looking for the support that we can move the market over to the suggested new location.
You're making a motion to that then? Okay, so we moved. Is there a seconder? Councillor Oak, go ahead. And discussion? Let's see, call the question, all in favor, that carries with 7. Thank you. And then we go on to 14.4. I asked for that to be pulled. I'm asking for council members to consider supporting this. I did have conversation with the health unit about it, and they would be in favor of us supporting that motion. So is there someone who will move that? Councillor Neeb, is there a seconder for that? Councillor Oak, any discussion, go ahead.
Yeah, so is this in addition to what we had already supported with the idea of water samples being canceled? The testing, I think we supported the last council meeting or the meeting before. Is this in addition to that? Because we'd already sent support to another resolution that had come with the potential cancellations of the private well testing program.
Yeah, I
So-
don't recall us doing that, but if we did, that's great. If we
Yeah.
have not, just turn to Madam Clerk. Are you aware of anything like that?
It sounds familiar. If you give me just one moment, I'll look it up. Yes, council did pass a resolution to support the Sabo Bayfield Maitland Valley Source Protection Committee's resolution regarding the phasing out of free private well testing. And that was supported at their March 4th meeting.
Okay, so a similar motion, is it? A similar, okay, so we don't need to do anything further with that then. Very well. Move on to 14.5. Just looking to see if there's any interest in supporting that Bill C-63 in the House of Commons. If not, Councillor Neeb, do you would like to move that? Okay, very well. Is there a seconder to support that? Not seeing any. Okay, we move on. That doesn't pass then. 14.6. Just interested to know if anyone on council would like to support that. Councillor Oak. So moves, seconded by whom? Councillor Neeb. Okay, discussion. Any discussion? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 7. Thank you. Okay, and those are the items pulled. Recommendation, please.
That South Huron Council receive communication items not otherwise dealt with.
And a mover, please. Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor McLeod Haggett. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 7. No closed session, therefore no reporting from closed session. We go to 17.1. Stand by, Councillor McLeod Haggett. Go ahead.
That South Huron Council gives first, second, third, and final reading to bylaw 25-2024, being a bylaw to authorize the borrowing upon amortizing debentures in principal amount of $4,888,438.38 towards the cost of the South Huron Recreation Center upgrades.
And is there a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Neeb, seconded by Councillor Vaughn. Any discussion? Councillor Dietrich, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Was there any government assistance with the 4,888,438?
Ms. Pursuit calls, would you want to respond?
There was no grant attached to this one. There was a grant with the Stephen Arena. This one, this is just the debenture. This is the cost.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Not seeing any. I call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you. I'm going to stand by for 17.2. Okay.
That South Huron Council gives first, second, third, and final reading to bylaw 26-2024, being a bylaw to adopt an emergency management program, an emergency response plan for the municipality of South Huron, and to meet other requirements under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act.
And is there a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Neeb, second by Councillor Oak. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 7. Thank you. And 18, please.
The South Huron Council gives first, second, third, and final readings to bylaw 27-2024, being a bylaw to confirm matters addressed at the March 25th, 2024 Council Priority Workshop, March 27th, 2024 special meeting, and the April 15th, 2024 council meeting.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Neeb, second by Councillor McLeod Haggett. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 7. And 19.
The South Huron Council hereby adjourns at 6:39 PM to meet again on May 6, 2024 at 6 PM or at the call of the chair.
Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councillor Neeb. No discussion. Call the question. All in favor? And that carries with